Hello everyone and welcome to episode 11 of the local to global save here on TEW IX with Castle Pro Wrestling in Scotland. And just a quick little update before we get into the shows today. So first of all, as you can see up here, we made $272. That's 2 months in a row of making multiple hundreds of pounds of profit, which hopefully means that the corner has officially been turned. We are nearly 800 in sponsorships, so if we say 400 more in sponsors, another 200 maybe in merch, that's another 600 in profit. If we can keep our show costs to a minimum again, we should be laughing. I have set the tickets to cheap just to see what difference that makes, because even if we lose 10 fans, we'll make that up in the money that we earn from tickets. The economy is still very weak, but it is still rising, so fingers crossed that trajectory continues as well. And we have signed 2 new talents. We've signed Celt Kennedy, or Celt Kennedy, I'm going to assume Celt Kennedy, who's pretty decent. He's only 16. I typically am not one to hire the really young guys, but this guy's good potential, solid base to work from. So we'll just sort of have him as a bit of a jobber for the time being and then see what he can bring in, what sort of performances he's doing. And we've also brought in Gary Steele, who's 26, from Ireland. He's English, but he's based in Ireland. He's not great, but average performance skills, decent fundamentals and physicals. So hopefully he can grow a little bit. I'm thinking, and he's got decent popularity in Scotland as well. So what I'm going to do is on this first live in Edinburgh, we're going to have him team with Roughneck, because we're just going to see if there's any chemistry there. And then, go from there really. Double check. So Loki and Frankie Kazarian are both not available for this show, so we're still not seeing Frankie Kazarian anywhere. Loki's got morale issues. Why? Poor new game. Okay, whatever, Loki, who cares? But yeah, I am going to go do this live in Edinburgh and I'm back in just a second. And I think we're going to be slightly justified in making tickets slightly more expensive, because we've got 128 people in. I also have just realised that when I set the matches up, I did it before my save corrupted. So I forgot that Darren Burridge was now injured, which is unfortunate for Darren Burridge, especially because the team won the match. No chemistry between Roughneck and Gary Steele. They both put in decent performances, but they're still not great. I mean, I'm torn on Roughneck, because he's been here since the beginning. He was our first ever champion. The performances just aren't there at the top level, and I don't want to just job out our first ever champion, so I don't know. I'm thinking about it. But yeah, 30 opening match is fine. I mean, can't really complain too much. We then have a 55 rated angle. Doug Williams comes to the ring and says he's got a big match tonight and feels that a win in this one will be enough to get him another shot at Hoovy. Hoovy comes down and says Doug knows he respects the hell out of him, and if Doug wins tonight, sure, it's Doug versus Hoovy for the title one last time at Lunatic Fringe. Straightforward. Doug wants a match, Hoovy's happy to give it to him, but only one more shot. And then, for all you lucky people, Chris Diamond comes to the ring and informs us, the lucky fans, that the Smashing Diamonds are going to perform yet another hit song at Lunatic Fringe. Edinburgh in August is a time for the arts, and the fans should be so lucky to witness such greatness. 37, they're getting better. They are getting better at this gimmick. I'll say that for them. But yeah, and then Chris Diamond follows that up with a win over Jody Fleisch. Gets a 31. Not a great match. Diamond with only a 28th performance, but he gets the win with the Melancholy and the Infinite Sadness following interference from Justin Starr. Not bad. Diamond picking up a good little win here. And in our main event, it gets a 52, which is fantastic. John Ryan, so his winning streak, it's not happening again currently. Obviously, he lost to Hoovy and now he's lost to Doug Williams, but he's put in a good effort. There's no shame in losing to Doug Williams. Doug Williams puts in a 59 performance. John Ryan with a 36. It's okay. The match 52 is fantastic. Doug Williams will face Juventud Guerrera in the main event at Lunatic Fringe. We get a 51 for the show. We've increased in one region. And let's give out some praise. I think we'll give out some praise to Darren Burridge for wrestling through an injury. And we'll also give some praise to Gary Steele, because he did okay. He did alright. Yeah, and there we go. There's the proof in the pudding right now. This show's lost $270, 1,000 in ticket sales. So, we haven't gone up in popularity, which is a bit annoying, but that's fine. We can trade off the popularity for the finances at the moment. We're up to tiny size. We're not going to make small anytime soon, which allows us that flexibility to maybe focus on the rest of the year getting the money up to where it needs to be, and then we can really hammer home the popularity. But good show. It's our our go home show for Lunatic Fringe. That's our next show in a month's time. The main event will be Juve versus Doug. It's just going to be a straight singles match, no gimmicks. But this is going to be the last time we run it, at least while Juve's the champion, because we need to start bringing in the fresh blood to the main event scene. We've got John Ryan sort of hanging around there, and that's kind of it. Obviously, we could push Chris Diamond to the main event scene, but I think this Smashing Diamond thing works better as a lower mid-card kind of comedy gimmick at the moment. One other thing we could do is we could move the tag champs towards the main event, but that would involve splitting them up. But I'm not. Apologies for the abrupt cut there. My PC decided to have a bit of a meltdown. Luckily, no damage has been done, so that's good. But yeah, that was the show last night. I was saying we could move the tag champs to the main event scene. Who else have we really got is the issue. I mean, if we have a look at our overview, who is... Yeah, like, we've not got a lot in the way of stars. I think that's going to be one of our key things going forward, is to try and bring in some names who can immediately compete at that main event level. But as you can see, our losses for the month currently are sitting at 67, and hopefully we'll get nearly 400 in sponsorship and a bit more in merch, so we should make a decent little profit this month, which would be fantastic. It really would be. But next up is Lunatic Fringe in 28 days. I am going to scour the network and see if there's anyone that we can bring in. To be honest, the names are not looking particularly exciting. Like, at all. I mean, we can bring Keith back, but 400 a show. We could bring Carl in, but 110. He is healthy, so that's... I might bring Carl in for a show. Does he have any tag partners? Steve Prince. Let's have a little look. Steve Prince. I need to take this stupid search off. Yeah, Steve, 900 per show. Nah, no, you're alright. It might be worth bringing in him. Let's have a look. So we want a male to hire wrestler, and why did I select the USA? To work in the British Isles. And delete Steve Prince. Okay. So it gives us quite a lot. Oh, Alex Wright. Oh. Colt Cabana. Colt's rotten though, but Daniels... I'm going to bring in Daniels for 6 months. Chad Collier. Colt is in the area currently. I should probably change that actually to based in to near Scotland, which really does significantly shorten our list. I'm going to throw an offer to Big Billy Busick for 3 months as well, because he's very good. And what else have we got? Too much money. We want to keep people under 100 ideally, or around 100. It's only a one-off appearance, so we don't need anybody. Yeah, I think we're going to bring Carl in for 3 months, so that if we do like him, we can use him for a couple more shows. We've not really got anyone else. I'm going to throw an offer at Colt Cabana for a month and see what happens. But I'm going to skip ahead. I've got some tasks to do, but I'll be back as soon as I can to do this. But for you guys, it'll be seconds, and we'll be getting ready to book Lunatic Fringe. Well, everyone, it's the day of Lunatic Fringe. It's our biggest show of the year, our season finale. We've had some things happen in between, namely Juventud Guerrera wanted more money. He wanted 110 per show. I gave him 80. He's no happy about that, but he'll get over it, hopefully, in the long run. Hopefully he just doesn't quit. That's the big concern. However, we are pretty much ready to go. The big news, though, the wrestling industry is also now rising in the British Isles, which means we are running a big show tonight. And if we have a little look here, just double check, tickets prices are cheap. We're going to make them normal ticket prices because this is our big show, so we'll get the season finale bump as well. And we are, what size are we? 22. So our ticket prices, we should make about 10 or so per person. Let's just double check. Yeah, so it's better than doing cheap. We'll get at least an extra $1 or $2 per person. If we can get 100, 120, that would be perfect. I've not got a lot booked for this show, to be completely honest. Some of this is going to depend on availability, so like Low Key probably won't be on the show, Kazarian won't be on the show, Colt Cabana won't be on the show, Daniels unfortunately won't be on the show, Big Billy Busick. So yeah, everybody I've brought in is not going to be on the show. So it's not going to be our biggest ever Lunatic Fringe, but the main event is kind of what we're selling this show on. And yeah, it's not been my best built show, I'm going to be honest. But I'm going to go book it now, and I'll see you guys at the start of Lunatic Fringe. And we are live in front of 119 people here in Edinburgh. So that's a really good attendance for normal ticket prices. So we won't make a profit on this show per se, but we should make a hopefully healthy profit at the end of the month, even though we are using 3/4 of the roster. However, we have our favourites. The ring is set for a huge live performance as the Smashing Diamonds make their way to the ring. Chris Diamond gets on the mic and proclaims that the fans here tonight are lucky as they get to be the first to hear his brand new song. He grabs a guitar, tells Wild and Star to keep watch for any shenanigans, and he performs the opening to a song that sounds incredibly similar to 1979 by the Smashing Pumpkins. He actually gets about 5-6 lines into the song before once again there's an interruption, like a banging noise backstage that causes Diamond to tell his goons to check it out. Doing so, he leaves the ring wide open for an attack. The lights ding off, they come back on. The Dominator and the Gravedigger are in the ring smiling as the Diamond turns around to once again be foiled by the tag champs, so they hit him with a double choke slam or something. And yep, I just like the silliness of these two sort of units going against each other. Like the spooky silliness of these guys and the campy silliness of these guys. It's good fun. Chris Diamond will want to get himself up off the mat though, because his team is up in action next. In a 6-man tag, the Smashing Diamonds do manage to recover themselves and defeat Jody Fleisch, Johnny Storm and PJ Black when Steve Wild submitted PJ Black. 43s overall was a really good match, actually. Even though Diamond was off his game, but he still got a 37. Lowest rating in the match of 35. We can't really complain too much about this as a whole. It gives the Smashing Diamonds a win. So like Chris Diamond obviously gets back up. Like Wild and Star come out for their match because they're scheduled up first anyway. They bring Diamond up off the floor and then their opponents come out. Is the way I see it. We then have the tag champs. They do come back out for a match. They take on the team of Roughneck and Kelt Kennedy, and they win when they pin Kelt Kennedy. This is part of Roughneck just trying to find a partner. Kelt Kennedy, they bonded pre-show, so I thought maybe that there would be good chemistry, but sadly not. But yeah, Dominator does his bit, the Gravedigger does his bit, he wins with the Tombstone. A 45 and a 55 for those two, a 44 overall. The finish was a failure, which is unfortunate, but it's fine. We'll move on. It's an easy title defense for the Dominator and the Gravedigger. And once again, I'm trying things with Roughneck, but nothing is sticking. Although a 34 is one of his better performances recently. Up next, this is a throwaway tag to the point where I just let the AI pick the winner, to be honest. But we have LT Summers and Gary Steele taking on Conscience and Ian Harrison, so the big units. Gary Steele submits Ian Harrison. Ian Harrison got a 22, so he's getting better. And Conscience, this is fine. 32, it's a bit of a cool the crowd match. Gets these guys on the card, gets them used. A 32 isn't the worst rating in the world. Sadly, we're just not getting any good RNG with the chemistry for a lot of our talent, which is a bit of a shame. Up next, we have John Ryan taking on the debuting Carl Kramer, and John Ryan picks up a very convincing win over a talent like Carl Kramer. 44 overall. John Ryan looks fantastic, and Carl Kramer made John Ryan look particularly strong. And Carl, that's what I want to hear. That keeps you a job in this place. You make my talent look good, I will keep you around. So thank you very much, Carl, even if your gimmick got a rating of poor. But creative finish was a success. We're leading up to the main event nicely. And there you go, Carl Kramer did use his superior skills to make John Ryan look particularly strong. The match was better as a result. Thank you very much, Wayne. Thank you very much, Carl. A 55 for the pre-match promo. Just imagine a little video plays or something. Doug and Hoovy are both speaking about how important this match is to both of them and to Castle Pro as a whole. Now remember, if Doug loses this match, he will not get another shot at Hoovy as long as Hoovy is the champion. But obviously if Doug wins, then Doug wins. That's how it works. 55 for this segment, and the match gets a 66. The creative finish was a success. Both guys put in good performance. Doug, by far the better guy here, but Juventud Guerrera gets the win in 20 minutes with the 450 splash to make defence number 3 of the Scottish National Championship. Our masked Mexican sensation. A brilliant match. Doug, thank you for your service at the top of the card. We will start to bring Doug Williams down to the upper mid card. We'll get him out of the title scene for a while. Maybe even find him a tag partner to take on the tag champs. Could be the way to go. But it's a great show. A 62 overall rating. Surely that has... One, that's our best ever show. But surely that's gained us a popularity point. There's only 2 people we can give praise here. Actually, you know what? We're going to praise Doug because Doug was fantastic. Let's praise Carl. And I want to give Carl a hug because I love him. We lost 529 on the show. That should hopefully be okay on the month. And how have we not gained a popularity point? How? We were at 22, right? The show got a 62. I know we're using normal ticket pricing, but how have we not gained a popularity point? Now, that's ridiculous. We've got one more show in August. We've got another live in Edinburgh to get through, so obviously that'll probably take us over to the 23. But come on. That's ridiculous. That was our best ever show. A tremendous main event. Good undercard. Good promos. 62 doesn't get us up to 23 popularity. I don't know how that works. Especially considering every show we put on gains us popularity. So we gained popularity last month, but that wasn't enough to then also tick. I don't know. I don't know how this game operates sometimes. But hopefully the extra money we've made in ticket sales sort of helps pay off the extra worker costs. Because we brought, I said everyone. I should have given Darren Burridge the night off. I forgot. I didn't use him, but he was there. But he's only on like 30 a show or something. But yeah, we shall see when the game loads. It's not being as much as a problematic piece of garbage today, which is good. New champion in WCW. Jake Roberts lost the World Heavyweight title to Jacques Rougeau. If you're wondering what's going on in 1999 WCW, and now you're thinking to yourself, WCW 99 was terrible. Look at this garbage. Look at this hot garbage that WCW is putting on. Yeah. Atrocious. Absolutely atrocious. But anyway. What are we in? We're minus 371, and we should gain about 400-500 in spot. Yeah, we'll be fine. We'll gain a couple £100 again this month, which is good. We've been 1,000 on workers this month. Huh. It's a lot of money on workers, Jesus. Anyway, Live in Edinburgh's up next in 5 days. So it's a quick turnaround. It's another fantastic. Look at Lunatic Fringe, an 11-point increase on last year. And if we look at, not the show history, the top 100s, it's by far our best ever show. And that's by far our best ever match. And it's not our best ever attendance, but I mean, it's up there. Only 16 less than the June attendance for Live in Edinburgh. And almost doubled the ticket income. So if you look at that, that's really good. That's just off one show. Although, I mean, July did alright. That was on cheap tickets. But anyway, next show we are back down to cheap tickets, I believe. I am debating actually making it very cheap. Ticket price default, that's fine. And what if my default is cheap? Yeah, I'll keep it cheap. If we don't go up to 22, I will put it down to very cheap, especially while the industry's growing. But I want to try and make as much money as possible. That's the game plan here. Anyway, next show, 5 days time. See you guys in just a second. And we're back in front of our more traditional 133 people here in Edinburgh for a bit of a throwaway Live in Edinburgh, it has to be said. This is a testing the waters, proving grounds sort of night. But we open with Kilt Kennedy and Gary Steele teaming up to take on the Smashing Diamonds, and they lose to the Smashing Diamonds because of course they do. Gets these guys a win. And then afterwards, again, no chemistry anywhere, which is annoying. Afterwards, Chris Diamond comes out and says the Smashing Diamonds had a big win in the opener, but there'll be no special performance tonight, as the fans don't deserve it. Luckily, those two big idiots aren't here to ruin the things this time, so Diamond instead says you'll be treated to a winning night at professional wrestling by the Smashing Diamonds, because Diamond is up next against an opponent, and he's going to get the win. His boys got the win, and there's no masked big freak guys with lightning bolts anywhere to be seen. I got a 42, by the way. And then Chris Diamond defeats PJ Black with the Melancholy and the Infinite Sadness. It gives Diamond another win. And yeah, simple enough. Simple enough. Afterwards, Doug Williams is backstage and he says that he's heard all the talk since last Friday at Lunatic Fringe, and he has to hold his hands up and admit it. He was beaten by the better man on the night. He instead has to turn his focus elsewhere now, and says there's a big 6-man main event tonight that he's in, along with Hoovy, and he'll be looking to take out his frustrations on someone. He gets a 52. Our main event gets a very impressive 50, when LT Summers, John Ryan and Roughneck defeat Doug Williams, Juventud Guerrera and Jody Fleisch, when John Ryan pins Doug Williams with the Ryanoku driver after Juventud Guerrera accidentally struck Doug. Doug, the best guy in the match by far. Everyone putting in a decent shift. Roughneck, the worst guy in the match, but only by a point. And yeah, we end the show with Doug Williams, who can't even challenge Juventud Guerrera again, has just lost one of his very rare losses in this company. And yeah, he's going to be pretty raging next month. That's all I'm going to say. We'll give some praise out to these guys. We only lost 292 on the show, so hopefully that means we should be in a decent position. We've still not bloody gone up popularity size, man. Like, ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. And anyway, as I was saying about Doug, so Doug loses, so John Ryan picks up a humongous win. And it's all Juventud Guerrera's fault. Now, we are not really using faces and heels at the moment. Like, I think Juvi's technically a heel, and I've been booking him as a babyface, but I have it set so that we're not strictly enforcing that. We might start to bring more strictly enforcing in on heel and face, because I think the scorned Doug Williams, who wants one more shot at Juvi, especially after Juvi's cost him that match, is an interesting angle to go on. But we'll see. Let me know what you guys think. Obviously, I am going to be very far ahead on videos by the time I record all of these, most likely. But let me know your thoughts. I know you guys have been great with the comments and the suggestions and the ideas. And I do try and take as much on board as possible. Obviously, some things I'm just not going to take on board because I've got my own ideas, my own gimmicks or something. But I will always take your feedback on board to try and improve this save as much as possible. But we shall see what we're looking at once this loads. There it goes. Dissension in the Smashing Diamonds. Chris Diamond doesn't get it. He can be cut, says Steve Wilde of the Smashing Diamonds. Maybe that's setting up a situation in which the diamonds are about to fall apart. Potentially. It could be. But how has that done Doug's pop? He's still at 30. Oh yeah, Doug Williams is sound. He's absolutely fine. John Ryan's up to 28. Yeah, I think John Ryan's doing real good business for us. I want to ask him to get in better shape, but he's not interested. I did go through and do a few people like Juvi to get his star quality up a little bit. It's surprising that his star quality is very low, because like he was a decent little star, especially as he got older. Who else have we got? Chris Diamond. He's still got cool momentum. Maybe I need to get some character ideas. But he's doing decent. He's up to 19 now in Scotland, by the way. That is a huge pay-per-view month. Well, pay-per-view, but huge big show month for Chris Diamond, which is lovely to see. The Smashing Diamonds are an important part, and they've got a little bit of momentum on their side as well. In a quick recap, obviously, Juventud Guerrera still our national champion, and the Dominator and the Gravedigger for over a year now have been the tag champs. They'll be back next month. As I said, I don't book them every month at the moment, just because they are not based here. What about... Okay. Career moving closer? Nope, still doesn't want to do it. And the Gravedigger's still based in Wales. I can check. Nope, he doesn't want to move. That's fine. That's fine. But yeah, hopefully money-wise we'll be okay. We're down 707. We're not going to be good this month. We're going to lose some money this month. This is the downside to running the 2 shows a month. And based off of the situation with the ticket, with the popularity, we are going to reduce tickets back down to very cheap for the next live in Edinburgh. So we're going to do September, and that will end this episode. After that, we'll do September's show, wrap up, and then next episode we'll do October, November, the 2 shows in December, and wrap up the end of year awards as we move into the year 2000. And I mean, hopefully we don't start getting bankruptcy warnings. So, is it every 3 years? Is it 3 years? Bankruptcy. Okay. All companies get a grace period of 3 years. We we might be in some trouble going forward. And we need, so this needs to keep rising. I think we need to be very careful with the money. We're 13 in debt, so like, if we could make, like, if the sponsorships could go up to $1,000, that would be perfect. Hopefully by the end of 1999 we'll only be about $6,000 in debt. I don't think that's likely, but I'm going to see what I can do. Anyway, thanks so much for watching, guys. I don't know why I'm saying that, because I'm not ending the episode. Duh! I'll be back in just a second for the last live in Edinburgh of the episode. And we are live in front of 152 people, which is insane. We're on very cheap tickets, but this should hopefully put us over the over to 23 in the popularity. And with a good show, maybe even 24 if we get lucky. But we opened the show with Doug Williams, a furious Doug Williams, who storms down to the ring and demands Juvi comes out right now. Juvi comes down and says it was an accident. He didn't mean to hit Doug. Doug doesn't accept that at all, and says for too long he secretly thought Juvi was a little rat who played things up to the fans, but just wanted, I should say, to usurp Doug as the top guy around here. Doug might not be able to fight for the title anymore, but he can damn sure make Juvi's life a living hell. Saying this, he brings out Rampage Brown, who's going to be his tag partner tonight and his protege, and says he might not be able to take the title, but Rampage Brown might. Or maybe, when out of nowhere, Frankie Kazarian I forgot to take out the and Rampage Brown, run down and attacks Juvi as Doug tells him to meet the future and his opponent tonight, Frankie Kazarian. Yes, Frankie Kazarian is actually in the show for once. He's on tour with All Star. Loki's being used, Frankie's not, so we can use Frankie tonight. Good promo, 46 overall. Rampage debuted his badass gimmick, got very good. Frankie with the cocky with adequate, which is fine. Rampage is still only 16, so that's why I figure him being like the protege of Doug. And then they do team up in the next match and get the win over LT Summers and Kelt Kennedy when Doug Williams wins with the Chaos Fury. Doug carried the match with a 58. Rampage already getting a 31. The match gets a 45. And Doug Williams came out the match looking like an absolute star. Up next, the 36 for the Gravedigger defeating Conscience with a tombstone. Just giving the guy some solo action. And then afterwards, the Dominator beats Justin Starr in a 46 match. The Dominator is definitely the better of the two guys. I could have done the Dominator versus Justin Starr and Steve Wilde versus the Gravedigger, but I just thought I'd chuck Conscience into a match, why not? And then afterwards, big wins for both of them. The Dominator announces that while the competition is pretty weak at the minute, they don't approve of the actions of Doug Williams and Rampage Brown. So how about next month they take on the big guys, the champs, and then they do their little spooky poses and dim the lights, because that's what they do. And then in our main event, it's very disappointing. Very, very disappointing main event. Juventud Guerrera defeats Frankie Kazarian with the Juve driver to make defence number 4 of the National Championship. Frankie off his game, dropped a 19. Yep, thanks Frankie, that was not worthwhile. 33 overall, because we did have a pre-show incident. Our ring did not arrive. So, you know, that's probably only going to increase us 1 point, hopefully. But it is what it is. Let's give Rampage Brown some praise, and I feel like we've just got to give Doug, tell him he's awesome at this point. Financial report, we lost 328. We lost $420 last month, so fingers crossed this month should be a bigger improvement. And mercifully, we have gone up to 23 popularity. Thank God for that. So, that is the last part of this episode. Obviously, we'll wrap things up while we wait for the loading screen. And that would have been a much better show with a better main event, and if the ring had actually turned up to the building. But, you know, we'll take it with hit the objective, which is moving up. We've also brought in Rampage Brown. He's a fun little extra character to team up with Doug Williams. That can move Doug towards the tag division potentially, and maybe even move the Dominator and Gravedigger out of the tag division if they end up losing the belts, which, I mean, I'm not saying they're going to, but they might. You never know. Other thing that happened in between episodes is Wayne Pickford came for a pay rise, and he wanted $290 a month, I believe. I just flat out rejected it, so he's pissed. Wayne Pickford is pissed right now. I think he might leave, which would not be ideal for a variety of reasons, because we don't have any other road agents, and like at $290 he would still be cheaper than what we could get elsewhere. Steve Wild will renew, and Frankie Kazarian's one appearance is now over. He did not like the world on fire, so we shall get that Colin Mackay off screen, especially after what I've learned about him. Yeah, so Wayne Pickford's got big morale issues about not getting a pay rise. He is under contract for like a long time though, but obviously he might want to leave, which would not be great. We'll renew Steve Wild. I need to let Steve Wild leave and then bring him back. Busick, we can let that run down. Carl Kramer, I mean, he had that very good match, and then I've not used him because he's on 110 a week, 110 a show. When's our next live in Edinburgh? So he's available for the next live in Edinburgh, so we might use him there. I will think about it. But yeah, a decent show overall. I mean, Christopher Daniels is still here for another few months, but we're obviously not using him until he's brought over for a tour. Ditto for Low Key, who is obviously over here, but you know, we don't use him that much. He's irritated because his gimmick's still upset about that. If we have a look, I mean, Kelt Kennedy up to a 7, Chris Diamond to a 19, Christopher Daniels, we don't need to worry about him. Conscience is an 18. I mean, he's fine. Daniel Burge is at 20. He is he back yet? He is back. Okay, good. I thought he was still injured. Daniel Burge is back. Doug Williams is the ace of the company at this point. Gary Steele is 18. Ian Harrison is not good. Jody Fleisch, 22, who I've discovered, I think, was he always in Wales? I feel like he was always in Wales. We are going to ask him to move over here though, and he says no. John Ryan, 28, definitely our next big thing, I think. Johnny Storm, 23, Justin Starr, 22, Juventud, 38. Still annoyed because we didn't give him a full pay rise. LT Summers is at 20. Quietly having a decent run. Martin Warren, the big man, the ref, the hard man, doesn't take no shit from anybody. PJ Black, there. Rampage up to a 7. He's gone up a point, which is good. So Rampage is very young, but Rampage is very solid. I mean, he's going to get better here. The fundamentals are already pretty good, as is the performance stats. Roughneck, I don't know what to do with Roughneck still. I'm still not sure what to do with Roughneck. Steve Wild will be leaving, but then we'll probably just pop him onto another 9-month deal again. So, Dominator, a genuine star for us. He's so good. Gravedigger, getting good. I mean, he's getting very good. He's not getting the popularity. I wonder if... So, one of the comments I got, it was about a week or so ago when this video goes up, was to change this. And can you do power and paint? Yes, he can. We're going to change him to a power and paint gimmick, similar to the Dominator, and hopefully that will be good, because his gimmick is very good. So, and then Wayne, who's just angry. But Wayne, just shut up and deal with it. I mean, get over yourself. So we've lost $52 so far. Our estimated income is another $400. So we should make... I mean, I'm hoping to make nearly $500 in profit here, to be completely honest. Which, if we can get to like 13 grand, and then yeah, the money's like just annoying because it's stuck in this number. Like, we're just not making any real dents into it. Obviously, we've got Christmas in the Gardens coming up later in the year, and I wonder if do we still run Christmas in the Gardens? I'm not sure. We've ran Graps on the Grass Market. We've obviously done our excellent Lunatic Fringe show in this episode. Yeah, we'll see. Like, that's our biggest attendance by far on very cheap tickets. We've made 912. So we've made about 100 less than we did in July, but more in June and May. And then obviously the December and April were double shows, and August was a double show, but August obviously had double the work cost. We'll see. How do we look through here? Oh, a young Nigel McGuinness. Oh, yes. I don't care if he's in southern England. Nigel, get here for 2 years. Yes, please. We could... should we put Nigel... I might have to make a stable for Doug Williams and have Doug, Nigel and Rampage together. That sounds like a bit of business to me. Anyway, I'm going to wrap things up here. I probably won't get the next episode done for a few days, but this is coming out, and I don't even know when at this point. For you guys, it's just every few days these videos come out. So for me, it's I don't know when. But hopefully you've enjoyed today's episode. Lunatic Fringe, a very good show. The finances still bad. The economy rising. The wrestling industry rising. So fingers crossed, money starts to flow at some point. That would be really appreciated. But speaking of appreciated, thank you for all the support on this series so far. As always, please drop a like, subscribe, comment, all of the fun things that you guys do. Let me know what you think about the plans for Doug Williams with Hoovie. We've obviously done these quite a big show actually, that most recent last in Edinburgh, and I do think I'm going to make a stable for Doug Williams and have Doug, Rampage and Nigel. That sounds like a bit of me, to be honest, like a hard ass kicking Englishman, you know, so sounds good to me. Anyway, thanks for watching, see you in the next one, and goodbye.